the desolate forest. The forest lay silent under the cover of night, the moon casting a pale glow upon the gnarled branches that reached towards the sky like skeletal fingers. A lone figure stood at the edge of the tree line, hesitating before plunging into the darkness that awaited beyond. With each step, the forest seemed to close in around him, the shadows growing deeper and more oppressive. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and an eerie chill sent shivers down his spine. Branches cracked underfoot as he pushed deeper into the forest, his heart pounding in his chest. Strange whispers echoed through the trees, their words indiscernible, yet filled with a sense of foreboding. Suddenly, a figure darted across his path, its form fleeting and indistinct. He froze, his breath catching in his throat, as he strained to see through the darkness. But the figure was gone, leaving only the echo of its footsteps in its wake. Fear clawed at his chest as he pressed on, his footsteps growing more frantic with each passing moment. Shadows danced at the edge of his vision, taunting him with their elusive movements. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing, the moon casting an eerie glow upon the scene before him. In the center of the clearing stood a gnarled oak tree, its twisted branches reaching towards the sky like a grotesque parody of life. As he approached, a sense of dread washed over him, chilling him to the bone. He could feel eyes watching him from the darkness, their gaze cold and unforgiving. With trembling hands, he reached out to touch the tree, his fingers brushing against the rough bark. But as soon as he made contact, a sharp pain shot through his hand, causing him to recoil in horror. To his horror, he saw that the tree was covered in strange symbols, their meaning lost to time. They seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, as if they held the key to some ancient and forbidden power. As he stared at the symbols, a voice whispered in his ear, its words a sinister hiss that sent shivers down his spine. He spun around, but there was no one there, only the darkness that surrounded him on all sides. His heart pounding in his chest, he stumbled backwards, desperate to escape the oppressive weight of the forest. But no matter which direction he turned, he found himself faced with nothing but darkness and despair. Suddenly, the ground beneath him gave way, sending him tumbling into a hidden pit that lay concealed beneath the forest floor. He cried out in terror as he fell, the darkness swallowing him whole. When he awoke, he found himself lying at the bottom of the pit, his body battered and bruised. Above him, the moon cast a faint glow, illuminating the twisted branches that surrounded him on all sides. With a sinking feeling in his heart, he realized that he was trapped, alone and helpless in the heart of the desolate forest. And as the shadows closed in around him, he knew that he would never escape their grasp. For in the depths of the forest, where darkness reigns supreme, there lies a malevolent force that preys upon the souls of the unwary. And as the night stretched on into eternity, he knew that he was its latest victim, doomed to wander its cursed depths for all eternity. The Haunted Manor. Perched atop a hill overlooking the mist-shrouded valley, the Haunted Manor stands as a testament to a dark and twisted past. Its windows shattered, its walls crumbling, it is a forsaken monument to the souls that once called it home. Within its decaying halls, whispers of long-dead inhabitants linger, their anguished cries echoing through the empty corridors. Those who dare to enter are greeted by the chilling embrace of the unknown, their sanity tested by the malevolent spirits that roam its cursed halls. The air hangs heavy with the scent of decay, as if the very walls themselves are rotting from within. Shadows dance along the cracked floorboards, their movements unnatural and haunting. Rooms lie frozen in time, their furnishings draped in cobwebs and dust. Furniture sits overturned, as if frozen in the midst of some long-forgotten struggle. The walls are adorned with faded portraits of a family long gone, their eyes following intruders with a sense of silent accusation. In the grand ballroom, the echoes of long-ago celebrations linger, the sound of laughter and music haunting the air like a ghostly symphony. But beneath the surface lies a darkness that few can comprehend, a malevolent presence that feeds on the fear of those who dare to tread its halls. In the dead of night, The manor comes alive with whispered voices and phantom footsteps. Shadows move with a life of their own, twisting and contorting in the darkness. Doors slam shut of their own accord, their hinges creaking in protest against the unseen force that controls them. Those who spend a night within its walls speak of restless spirits that wander the halls, their mournful wails echoing through the empty rooms. Some claim to have seen apparitions, their pale forms drifting through the darkness like wisps of smoke. But perhaps most chilling of all are the tales of the manor's former inhabitants, whose tragic fates are whispered about in hushed tones. Stories of betrayal and madness, of lives cut short by unseen forces that lurk within the shadows. Despite its decrepit state, the manor exudes an aura of malevolence that repels all but the bravest of souls. Many have attempted to unravel its mysteries, only to be driven mad by the darkness that dwells within. For within the haunted manor, the line between the living and the dead is blurred, and those who dare to enter do so at their own peril. As the moon rises high above the crumbling walls, casting an eerie glow upon its forsaken halls, the haunted manor stands as a silent sentinel to the horrors that lie within. And for those who dare to venture inside, the truth of its dark past may prove to be more terrifying than they could ever imagine. The ghostly lake. At the edge of the forest lies a tranquil lake, its surface shimmering in the pale moonlight. But beneath its serene facade lies a darkness that few can comprehend. Legend has it that the lake is haunted by the spirits of those who met their untimely demise within its depths, their anguished cries echoing across the water on moonlit nights. Those who dare to swim in its icy waters are said to be pulled beneath the surface by unseen hands, their bodies never to be seen again. The air around the lake is heavy with an otherworldly presence, a feeling of unease that settles deep within the bones of all who approach. Strange lights flicker beneath the surface, casting an eerie glow upon the dark waters below. Some claim to have seen faces staring up at them from the depths, their eyes empty and soulless. Others speak of voices whispering in the wind, their words unintelligible yet filled with a sense of longing. The shores of the lake are littered with offerings left behind by those who seek to appease the restless spirits that dwell within. Trinkets and baubles lay scattered upon the sand, their significance known only to those who dare to venture into the realm of the supernatural. But despite the warnings, there are those who are drawn to the lake's mysterious allure, unable to resist the pull of its dark waters. They come seeking answers to questions long forgotten, their curiosity driving them ever closer to the edge of oblivion. As night falls and the moon rises high above the lake, a sense of dread settles over the surrounding landscape. The water takes on an ethereal glow, reflecting the ghostly light of the moon above. Shadows dance along the surface, their movements hypnotic and unsettling. In the dead of night, the lake comes alive with the sound of whispers and moans, the voices of the restless dead crying out for release. Some say that if you listen closely, you can hear the names of those who have perished within its depths, their memories forever trapped beneath the surface. But perhaps most terrifying of all are the tales of those who have ventured too close to the lake's edge, only to be pulled beneath its surface by unseen forces. Their screams echo across the water, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk within. For in the heart of the ghostly lake, where darkness reigns supreme, the spirits of the dead roam free, their tortured souls forever bound to its murky depths. And as the moonlight dances upon the water, casting twisted shadows upon the shore, the true horror of the lake is revealed to all who dare to look upon it. The Cursed Village. Nestled at the foot of the forest, the cursed village lies in perpetual darkness, its streets empty and its buildings crumbling into ruin. Once a thriving community, it is now little more than a ghost town, its inhabitants long since vanished without a trace. But whispers of their presence linger on the wind, their restless spirits haunting the deserted streets. Those who dare to venture into the village are met with an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the very air itself is alive with malevolence. The houses stand as silent sentinels to a past best left forgotten, their windows shattered and their doors hanging from rusted hinges. Ivy creeps up the walls, reclaiming the village inch by inch as nature seeks to erase the memory of its former inhabitants. In the town square, an ancient fountain stands as a reminder of better days, its waters long since dried up, and its stone cracked and weathered. Shadows dance across the cobblestones, their movements unnatural and unsettling. Few dare to linger in the village after dark, for it is said that when the sun sets, the spirits of the dead rise from their graves to roam the streets once more. Their mournful cries echo through the night, a chilling reminder of the horrors that befell the village long ago. In the churchyard, weather-worn gravestones stand as silent testimony to the tragedy that befell the village. Names and dates have long since been worn away by time, leaving behind nothing but faded memories of lives lost. But perhaps most chilling of all are the whispers that echo through the empty streets, the voices of the dead calling out to those who dare to listen. They speak of curses and betrayal, of a darkness that lurks within the heart of the village, waiting to claim its next victim. Despite its desolate appearance, there are those who are drawn to the village's mysterious allure, unable to resist the pull of its haunted streets. They come seeking answers to questions long forgotten, their curiosity driving them ever closer to the edge of madness. As night falls and the moon rises high above the village, a sense of dread settles over the surrounding landscape. Shadows twist and writhe in the darkness, their movements haunting and unnatural. In the dead of night, the village comes alive with the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty streets, their origin unknown. Windows rattle in their frames, their glass panes vibrating with an unseen force. But despite the dangers that lurk within its cursed streets, there are those who refuse to heed the warnings, their curiosity outweighing their fear. They come seeking answers to questions best left unanswered, their fate uncertain as they venture into the heart of the cursed village. For in the depths of its darkness, where shadows reign supreme, the true horror of the village is revealed to all who dare to enter. And as the moonlight filters through the twisted branches overhead, casting twisted shadows upon the cobblestones below, the spirits of the dead watch and wait for their next unsuspecting victim. The Forbidden Ritual. Deep within the heart of the forest, hidden beneath the twisted branches of an ancient tree, lies the site of a forbidden ritual. It is said that those who seek to summon the darkness itself gather here under the cover of night, their voices raised in unholy incantations. The ground trembles beneath their feet as the very fabric of reality is torn asunder, unleashing horrors beyond imagination upon the world. As the ritual reaches its crescendo, the forest itself seems to come alive with malevolent energy, the air thick with the stench of death and decay. Shadows dance and writhe around the participants, their movements hypnotic and unsettling. The ancient tree looms overhead like a silent sentinel, its branches twisted and gnarled as if reaching out to ensnare the unwary. Strange symbols are carved into its bark, their meaning known only to those who practice the dark arts. The participants chant in a language long forgotten, their voices rising and falling in a sinister melody that echoes through the forest. Each word is imbued with dark power, sending shivers down the spines of all who hear them. As the ritual progresses, the boundaries between worlds begin to blur, and the veil that separates the living from the dead grows thin. Shadows gather around the participants, their forms shifting and changing in the flickering light of the ritual fire. Suddenly, a rift appears in the fabric of reality, tearing through the air with a deafening roar. From its depths emerge creatures of nightmare, their twisted forms bathed in shadow and darkness. They howl and screech as they pour forth into the world, their eyes burning with malevolent intent. The participants watch in horror as the creatures rampage through the forest, their screams mingling with the cries of the dying. The ground shakes beneath their feet as the very earth rebels against the presence of such unholy beings. But even as chaos reigns supreme, the participants press on, their determination unwavering in the face of unspeakable horror. They know that they have unleashed forces beyond their control, but they care not for the consequences. As the night stretches on into eternity, the forest is consumed by darkness, its twisted trees bending and contorting in agony. And amidst the chaos, the participants continue their ritual, their voices rising above the din as they seek to bring about the end of days.